that, let's move on and talk about how all of the overnight global cues really impact our own markets and the individual stocks that could see big moves today as well. We have our research team here with the trade setup. Vivek and Hormaz join me now to really take us through what we should track from an India market standpoint. Guys, a very good morning to both of you. Vivek, coming to you first, the handover once again has been soft, so that profit booking continues on Wall Street.
Well, you're absolutely right. Third straight session where the Nasdaq saw significant selling pressure, and it'll be interesting to see, how the Indian IT stocks react today, given the fact that while Indian IT has been weak, for the couple of trading sessions that we've seen in 2024, a couple of upgrades have come in today morning. So it'll be interesting to see the tug of war, especially in the IT space today. Now, the US markets, like you mentioned, quite weak. Crude oil prices, key barometer that we track. Now, what's actually happened over there? Prices rose yesterday over 3%. So WTI futures, Brent futures, both up over 3% in yesterday's trading session. Now, coming to the Indian markets yesterday ended with cuts for the second straight session. Nifty, however, managed to hold on to the 21,500 level, and that will be a crucial level whether Nifty can protect that on the downside today. Broader market indices showed relative outperformance. India VIX cooled off, one positive sign if you could look at it that way. IT and metal stocks continue to see the weakness. A couple of stocks that did hit record highs. Bajaj Auto on the back of the buyback, was one of the top movers in the session yesterday. FI buying also is one key parameter that we need to keep an eye out for. Today, remember, earnings season kicks off, and it'll be interesting to see the kind of trends that we can pick up quite early. Key sector to watch out for continues to remain IT. Asian markets, Gift Nifty, soft opening for our own markets, but Gift Nifty isn't showing the kind of downtick that we would have expected it to see after the very weak handover that we've received.
Okay, so it's just around 22 points higher right now in the Gift Nifty. Vivek, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. But let's also talk about the stocks that are likely to be in the news today. There's a whole lot, and Hormaz has got that with us. Hormaz, lots of Q3 updates coming in.
Absolutely, and they continue as we speak. And I start off with Bajaj Finance, where the new loans booked were up 26% to almost 98.6 lakhs. And the AUM growth was better than the September quarter, 35% AUM growth, and also crossed the 3 lakh crore mark in the third quarter there. IndusInd Bank also came out with updates. Deposits were up 13%, where advances were up 20% from last year. Also reacting to their Q3 updates today will be Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, IEX, and Vedanta. Bharat Forge will be in focus because the North American Class 8 truck orders were the lowest in 4 months for the month of December. They were down 7% year-on-year and 28% month-on-month to just over 26,000 units. Vedanta has received the bondholders' consent to restructure 4 of its bonds, and 2 of those bonds were due this year, it is in 2024, and 1 each were due in 2025 and in 2026. Now, defense stocks will be in focus today because the defense secretary spoke exclusively to CNBC-TV18, and he said that 45% of the defense ministry orders in 2024 may go to the private sector. So we'll keep that on the radar. Adani Ports, where Gautam Adani has now been redesignated as executive chairman from chairman and MD. Karan Adani will be the new managing director, and Ashwani Gupta will be the CEO. And the board has also approved raising 5,000 crore rupees via NCDs. SAIL, where the government has cancelled the disinvestment of its Salem steel plant due to the lack of interest from bidders. The October telecom data has showed that Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio both added fewer subscribers compared to September, but Vodafone Idea lost more subscribers compared to the month of September. Wipro, where the lawsuit against this former CFO Jatin Dalal has been referred to an arbitration process. LIC has received yet another demand for GST and penalty. This time it's worth 670 crore rupees. Torrent Power has signed 4 MOUs with the Gujarat government worth nearly 50,000 crores. And BGR Energy, where SBI and Central Bank of India has classified this account as an NPA, and SBI has an exposure of over 2,500 crore rupees to this account. Back to you.
Okay, Hormaz, thanks a lot for filling us in with all of that action that came through in these individual names overnight. But let's also talk about the cues from the futures and options space. Nigel is here with that. Nigel, we ended pretty much at the low point of the day, but above the 21,500 mark.
Well, that's right, Pavitra. Let's take that point forward itself. In the last few sessions, the lows that we're making on a day-to-day basis actually has been lower. So that chart should come up for you on the screen. Yesterday, we did see that the FIs, well, they added some short positions. Close to around 7,000 short contracts is what they added. And that's why you saw the short positioning from sub 30%. That's moved to close to around 34%, because yesterday you had more number of shorts that were added, and there was some unwinding of long positions as well. So currently the long positioning is holding at around 66%. The PCR, well, that was at around 1.2 just a few sessions ago. That's come down to around 0.76. Remember, normally we see when the PCR moves to around 0.65 to around 0.7, the markets see a bit of a bounce. Today, maybe at some point of time, if the call writing gets very, very aggressive, then in fact, maybe we'll be bracing ourselves for a bit of a bounce once the PCR breaches that 0.7 mark on the downside. Pull up 2 strikes yesterday, the 21,700 call, as well as the 21,600, as well as the 21,500 550 call. Both of them did add a fair bit of open interest, close to around 2 crore shares getting added out there. The premium out there between 25 to around 40 rupees, but it came down by close to around 40-50% in today. So what are the levels you're looking at? The recent high, well, it's at around 21,834. But I'm looking at the 21,750 to around the 21,800 mark. That's a bit of a resistance zone going by the kind of call writing we've seen at around the 21,700 call. On the downside, support comes in at around 21,450. And that's because we have seen a fair bit of writing at around the 21,500 put. And if that breaks, then you're looking at the 20 DMA. The Nifty Bank yesterday defended the 20 DMA, but that's something that you'll want it to defend. And given the kind of global cues, you'll be counting on the Nifty Bank to fight for the bulls, if at all. The Gift Nifty suggesting a bit of green. I think at some point of time we moved into the red. And as I said earlier, say if you see a 50-80 point downtick, maybe at some point of time you see a bit of a short covering bounce that plays out just on an intraday basis. Back to you.
Okay, Nigel, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues and the setup this morning.